Hello, my friends out there around the world, the whole world, and nothing but the world. We exclude aliens, we exclude everybody that doesn't belong, but we can act as they belong. It is it's important to let people feel they belong, to belong somewhere. You can be a stranger in the night and you feel all alone. You can be a refugee in your own life and you feel all alone. You can be somewhere, some places with some people or alone. But the main feeling is you are alone, and I touched on that yesterday. Yesterday I was talking about getting it all together and prepare. But to be alone is good. Some people feel that it's bad to be alone, but I think after being alone for many, many days, many, many years, that it have done me good. People that are alone can manage and work on their own personality, their own self. It's very easy to feel left outside. I, I know that feeling very well. I think people today are afraid of feeling outside, outside society, outside. Yeah, the mayor here is still a mayor, and my friend he was talking to him, and he said something similar to you who uh, have fallen outside the good circle, the society. You that have fallen outside. It's well, it's a mayor that think of someone that they have fallen outside the nice society. It's not up to date with his words. Maybe a little bit prejudiced, but something like that people don't forget. And this man, this so-called friend of mine, he was a friend for a short period, but I couldn't handle that. I was disturbed. So he said that since you did this and that, we can no longer have contact. Okay, it's okay. And I felt all outside, all alone. But he's a good guy, and I don't think much of that. It's how it is, and people are small in their own world, so to say. It's a small world out there, and people need to be up to date with themselves in order to know what's going around. So the feeling of being outside, feeling of being alone, I think that is a profound feeling that can be elaborated in a deeper sense, because in this world we are alone. We are alone. We have no one outside. We pray to God. We go to God. We seek God. We seek also other universal entities, as they say. It can be true. I don't know, but to seek God is a kind of it has been a habit for the humankind for many years, and to worship something outside of yourself is maybe it's a good thing. To go outside your own frame, you know, to go outside and see that God is. Maybe God is just a wishful thinking. Maybe. So that we don't feel all alone. As individuals, I can touch on refugees or people that are foreigner to different places. They have arrived. But on a personal level, in fact, if you don't see this clearly, we will see it after when I'm done. Because in individual people, they may think they belong to a flock or they are in a group, they are seen. And as a father, I have daughters, I have children, so that you know that you are not directly alone, but in a personal on a personal level, you are alone, and to carry that weight of admittance or that weight of acknowledgement, it can be quite hard, because then you realize that the world outside is just something that you reflect on. It's a reflection. Everything is a reflection. So if I see someone, it's about me. It's I am not outside myself. I am within, and everything that I see, hear, touch, and taste, I can relate to it by outsiders, but in reality, it's all within my own world. It's how I perceive the reality through my senses. The reality of my perception is it can be a mind-boggling case, but in my case, I think I got it quite right, because it's how I interact with myself in that regard. When you are operating as a human being, you interact obviously with the other people, and you see them as someone that is outside of yourself. But in reality, everything is within yourself. Even something like God is within yourself. It's inside out, so to say. It's it doesn't really appear to me as a very lonely feeling, but when you see it in a very broader perspective, it's it's only the world that is within my perception. So it's kind of funny that it is like that. Every newborn baby, I know that there are millions that are born just within some few days. But when I get to see some of the, some people, I laugh because it's kind of everything that is, it's happening outside. It's when you go to the neighbor, they are there, but it's also within. So when you feel all alone, you have this kind of claustrophobic feeling that you are only by yourself, and uh, what's outside yourself you can't be very sure about, because it's outside. It's just the impression that you have out of your five senses. You hear, you taste, you see, you whatever it is, you can know, and those five senses are working together. So it's how can I express that in a more simplistic term, that everything is according to me. Someone told me, or I just saw it in that way, I don't know, but everything that happens to you is sent to you. Every human interaction and every kind of dilemma, conflict, and every kind of demands and everything like that, it's a self, if it's at best a self self it's a self adjustment. It's everything that is happening to me. If I get into a quarrel, if I get into some demands, I examine myself. It's kind of I do this debate with myself as if it's that person in hand that I was interacting with, that I got some stress or problems with. So I often did that when I was growing up, even back in those times when I was a youngster, a teenager. I did this kind of conversation with myself in order to attack, or in order to justify, or in order to argument some ideas that I couldn't do back then when I was in that situation. So it's when I did that, I got a kind of a satisfactory that I could explain, I could express what I was feeling back in that specific moment. So feeling alone has to do when you don't really understand what is happening to you. When things are happening outside, you think it's outside. You laugh at people. You 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 think they are funny. You think they are stupid. You think they are limited in a very broad perspective. But it's we have many words or explanations for what you see in your next of kin or someone else. It's all about you. When you see attribute, more simple term for attribute is quality. A quality that you can see in another person. Maybe you see it immediately, maybe you see it after a while, Uh, it's a quality that you are having yourself, that you maybe cherish yourself, like someone you really trust. You have that kind of quality yourself, that you can be trusted. Or if you dislike someone that lies to you, just cheat you, maybe you have that quality too, because you have a kind of a hate or love relationship with that kind of quality. So everybody can love, everybody can hate, everybody can everybody have some kind of attributes or qualities that they are capable of. But some qualities comes on later, because you see it as a strange thing, maybe, and you are explained that this is a good quality. After a while, after some time, you realize that this kind of quality to that human is really good. So in the first hand, you don't really know. Maybe your perspective of someone is they are retarded, or they are stupid, or they don't look good, so they don't fit in. And maybe you even have this notion of they are so high up there that anyone that knows them should know how to interact with them, but you are the only one that knows, so you are policing everything around those persons that you are afraid to be. It's all about yourself. It's kind of that is a lonely feeling when you have this kind of notion that people should behave in a certain order. I have been arrested for many issues by others, because they think that Ole is humiliating himself. But I think that that kind of notion or narrative that people are awkward is kind of a human that rises up above everybody else, that know it best. So when we are policing, when we are trying to change people's behavior, we don't really know that it is ourselves we need to change. The need of change of other people is just a kind of a self-humiliating thing. So when people can't fix others, when people are just stupid, plain stupid, because they are trying to change everybody else, and they seemingly to be perfect in perfect order. Nothing is true about that. Nothing is factual about that. It's kind of a testimony that that kind of attitude is no good. It has no reference in that Rome. People that are understanding, philosophers, and maybe you are not, but the right philosopher will understand immediately that everything around him or her is all about oneself. So the quality you see in your next of kin is a quality you may certainly have yourself. That's why you appreciate those qualities. And when you realize that everything is just a perspective, you can't be sure that everything you see or sense are existing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a world of its own. Maybe you are not existing yourself. I think that kind of notion that maybe I'm not existing is the very profound reason for why feeling lonely. It's a deep state of mind that we never tap into. Maybe our mind is kind of a bank of a big well that is partly overground and partly underground. So we are unconscious, unaware of many things that we are like before we were born. I think, in my honest opinion, that we could be aware of what was happening all around. I think many things that when we sleep or whatever we do, we are unconscious of things that is going on around. But in deeper sense, we are interconnected. In deeper sense, I would know when my siblings are unjustly treated. When someone in this world is unjustly treated, I should be aware. That is the kind of lonely feeling that if I don't feel that kind of pain, that kind of suffering, because of the unjust that is happening to my siblings. I use siblings in a broader term now, you would understand. And because siblings is kind of yourself, but in a very large perspective, and everybody is, I think, deep down, those people that we are interacted with, will we more and more be aware of how they are. Those that we can't know because of the physical limitations, we can't be aware of in that regard. But even though that is going on, I think it's on a level that we can't really see and understand, but it is there. It is appearing. And the cry from the ground up that I am unjustly treated, it's impacting everybody. We should unite together because of this lonely feeling, this loneliness that have been impacted us in so profound way that what is happening to the global people, the globetrotters all over the world, all the animals that is extinct or threatened to be extinct, all the rainforest and all, we should experience some kind of impact because we are unconsciously aware of it. I can't prove it, but I think that we by genes, by our ancestors, would know both what is happening outside our own space, but also what was going on in past time as it's going to happen in the future. I can't explain it, but I believe it to be true, because there are people around that are in touch with those kind of senses, that can say very specifically, this and that is happening now, this and that is happening, going to happen, and have happened in the past. So when we are interconnected, I don't believe in reincarnation or something like that. I don't go into New Age or that kind of stuff, but I believe that we are connected both from the past into the future. The present now, the time frame of now, is a connection with the past, the future, the knowns and the unknowns. When you have a talk with your friend, for example, or your children, I had this many times. You have a talk that you get suddenly aware of that something is not matching up, it's not adding up, it's something strange, it's something there that may be a worrisome thing. And I had that with someone the day before it was exposed. So for a long time I had this kind of worry, this kind of unease. It have happened with several people, but in those examples I'm touching on now, I knew that something was not specifically happening, but it was under some kind of turmoil, some kind of stress that I didn't want to go in and ask, how are you? You should get out of it. No, I had to be very, very calm. Oh, what do you say? You have to be prepared. Maybe my prayer, my work on myself will prepare me for people that can come to me and open up. So that was what happened back then. I don't know why people came to me. I have not that answer, but they opened up and told me something I had a sense of from before. So my friends, be aware. My friend on Instagram, she said that we can pray for each other, and it's a healing of this world. We are not really all that alone, my friend. When you are tapped, you don't need to be together with other people, because that can mean so much stress on you, turmoil on you, and so much noise. But be you in a very harmonic way, and be in prayer for each other. Lit some candle that you can keep your friends and everybody, and when you don't do it sometimes, you will be aware that this is needed to be done. And all the prayers that is needed for everybody from you is about you. It's a perspective of yourself, so that you can work on yourself in order to get connected, interacted with your, in a broader sense, your siblings, your relatives, those that are from the past, those that are coming to the future, the present now. All will be in an interconnected state, and you will be more aware of what is happening all around you. You will not be blind anymore. You will be seeing seeing all things in a clear way, so you know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Bye.